Hey everyone, it's Cam315 back with you with another video, and this is my movie review of Toy Story 4. I just got done seeing it, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. There's gonna be, I'm obviously gonna give a little spoilers away. I don't want to ruin the whole film because one, I can barely remember some. I can, from what I can remember, I'm just saying most of the most important parts. So basically, Toy Story 4. Let's get into it. When Toy Story 4's first trailer released, or when they said they're making a Toy Story 4, I was like, why? Um, why did we making Toy Story 4? Because Toy Story 3 had one of the most perfect endings to the franchise, and I thought if there was any way to go out, that was a really good way. So my thing on this video, my review on this is basically telling you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, was it worth it, and if you should go see it. Now, albeit I'm not saying, despite my feelings towards this movie, I'd still say go see it. I thought it was a really good movie, and I liked it a lot. But my thoughts about it, personally, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this movie was not necessarily needed. We could have just had the three Toy Story movies and been done with it. We didn't need a fourth Toy Story film and stuff like that. I had little problems with the movie, but other than that, there's a lot of good. I love the comedy. The comedy kept me laughing almost all the time during the not the money, during the movie, because it just had silly scenes with the characters and stuff like that. And yeah, I also, if you wanted to know, I did not cry in this movie. I personally didn't cry at all in this movie. There was some heartwarming moments in this film, but there was nothing where I was literally probably crying like how I said in my Avengers Endgame review. I cried in that film. To me, I didn't really cry, and maybe it's because maybe to me, I don't really cry towards movies a lot. Avengers Endgame was the one movie where it had the exception for me, where it's like, oh, this scene is so powerful, tears just flowed down my face. But other than that, it was a good movie. I liked it. It looks really good. It looks really good when you compare it from the first movie to now. It's phenomenal how much time has passed where it looks like it's almost literally like lifelike and it's in the real world. And I gotta give my credit where it's due. They make the film look really good, and that's a good aspect of having the film. But there's the characters I all like in the film. I like the new characters they introduced in the film. They're really good. They really have fleshed out characters. I also like the fact that I like the fact that Bo Peep's back because, you know, we haven't seen well, she's been in all the movies except Toy Story 3, and she was basically, Toy Story 3 was stated like, oh yeah, something happened to her, and yeah. So other than that, that's all I gotta say about my non-spoiler review, because really that's it, because I want to get to the nitty-gritty of this. So here it goes to spoilers. So if you have not seen this movie yet, be warned. You might get spoiled, and yeah. So basically, the movie starts off 9 years ago, and I'm not gonna like, you know, word for word do. I'm just gonna give major points and things that I liked and stuff like that. Because for the love of me, I'm gonna be honest. The only parts that I really liked were probably the beginning, a little bit, the beginning part, really like the start of the movie, a little bit after the start of the movie, and then the final part is where was what I like the most. The middle part, to me, in my opinion, the middle part didn't. I don't know. I just felt like it was so contrived, and it was like, in essence, it was just all, kind of meshed together. And it's like, I'm not feeling this middle arc of the movie. and it's shocking for me to say that about a Toy Story movie because I'm usually invested in them. But the middle arc, I was like, it's kind of jumbled to me, in my opinion. For you guys, maybe you might like the entire movie. I still, like I said, like the movie. I just felt like that was one little issue to me. In the beginning and the end, I really enjoyed those parts. Those were the most enjoyable parts of the film. The middle, yeah, the middle part was just all, to me, I didn't really care much. The only thing I really cared about in the middle was all the comedy and stuff like that. Um, basically, like I was saying, it starts off with explaining really how Bo Peep wasn't really in the third movie, in the third film, and basically that's because if you remember the car RC, or well, I forgot his name, the guys, the green car with the blue sticker flames. He was basically stuck in a gutter while it was pouring rain, and he was literally probably about to be going out into the street. So Woody and the other toys try to save him. So when they do get him, this guy comes in and takes Bo Peep and puts her in a box, and basically her and Woody have a little heartfelt goodbye because Woody wants her to stay. And that's the whole purpose, to like bring her back in the house. But she was like, it's time to move on, and you still got your kid. I gotta move on and do my own thing. So then we later cut to present day, and basically they have the general, you got a friend of me song at the start of the movie as well. And fast forwards from the time when Andy's playing with, Woody, Buzz, and the other toys to like Bonnie now. And basically it cuts like where we're at present day, and basically Bonnie doesn't really play with Woody as, say, when in Toy Story 3 she loved Woody to death. Now she just doesn't even acknowledge him. Just sees him, gets the badge off, and actually put it on Jesse in the film, and basically just put him in the closet. And it was funny, these other toys were like, "Oh man, that sucks for you. 3 straight days, huh?" He's like, "It's all right." And yeah, so basically, it's also Bonnie's first, well, not first day of kindergarten, but she has a kindergarten orientation. So Woody sneaks into her backpack and basically makes the spork, which his name is Forky. And basically, what I thought was one of the comedic things is when he was first introduced in the movie, he thought since he was from a trash can, he's supposed to be in trash. And it's funny because every time he's like, trash, 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 trash. And Woody's always telling him, like, no, you're a toy, you're trash. And it's cool because then, what is it? When they eventually get, as you saw in the trailer, when the dude leaves the RV because Bonnie and her family are going on a road trip, Woody goes after them, and Woody basically tells Forky like his entire life story up until where he's at now, and then telling him the meaning of being a toy and being there for Bonnie and stuff like that. And then they eventually catch up to the RV, but then Woody comes across Bo Peep's lamp, and he goes into this antique shop where they eventually run into the ventriloquist doll, or the doll from, guys, if you ever seen Goosebumps, the dolls from them, with the little tuxedo and the little, curled hair and stuff like that. And they also run into this other character named Gabby Gabby, who is the antagonist slash, I don't know what to really call her. And with Gabby Gabby, she starts off looking like a villain. And midway through the movie, I'm like, how can you get no better than Lotso? I think Lotso was the best Toy Story villain out of the other 3. And I'm like, how do you get better? And basically, her deal is, her voice box is broken, or it was a faulty thing, and it never worked from day one. And basically, she's like, all right, Woody, I'm going to take your voice box. So she come across like that, but she later explains, like, all she wants to do is she just wants to be played with. She wants to understand what it feels like to be a toy being played with. And it makes her turn from not being a really antagonistic character or a villain type character to actually a sympathetic character where you can actually feel for her. And there's the one scene where she gets the voice box from Woody because earlier in the film, she basically, when Woody's trying to escape with Forky from the antique shop, um, Forky actually gets captured by Gabby Gabby and the other ventriloquist dolls. Um, and basically, she was like, look, just give me your voice. And basically, Woody in that part of the movie was like, look, I'll give you my voice box and a tray for Forky. And she was like, all right, good. Now, what I thought was going to happen is there's going to be like some kind of plot twist. Like, oh, I just wanted your voice box. Now I'm taking Forky for good. And stuff like that. But no, she actually gave him back. And I was like, okay, okay. And there was this one really, most people are as heartwarming scene for her where she does the pull her string and stuff like that, and her voice box works. And there's this character that she wants to be with, and yeah, this character, this little girl named Harmony. And it's funny because Harmony's grandma is the owner of the antique shop, and Grandma was like, "Oh, you can take it home if you want." And then Harmony was like, "Oh, okay." Looks at the doll happy, and then puts her in a box, and is like, "Yeah, whatever. I don't need you." And it was kind of sad because it's like, well, you got this voice box for nothing then. But then it's later put out that basically she finds a little girl crying, and they set her, and her and the toy set her up to find this girl, to get to this girl, and basically she finds a child to take her home and, you know, be the toy's friend. And so it wrapped up her arc. I thought she was an okay character. You could feel for her when her full story is finally announced. Otherwise than that, I'm like, okay, there's really no antagonist or no villain. You come across like it at first, but really there's no villain in this film. So that's one thing you can expect. There's no villain in this film. When you first see her, when I first saw her, it looked like she was a villain, but when I'm like, well, then she's not really a villain. She just told Woody her story. Then maybe Woody at the first part of the film might have actually might have done that. And yeah. So, anyways, earlier when I'm going back to like the beginning, middle part of the film, what is it? Woody's trying to get back to the antique shop to save Forky. So, but he actually runs into Bo Peep again, who's driving a skunk car or whatever it is, and basically Bo Peep's like, "Oh man, it's so great to see you again," and stuff like that. And the one thing is, the one thing I did like about this movie is I liked the Bo Peep Woody relationship, because it's like I was saying I haven't said it, but this is what I feel like when I watch my anime shows and they have a shipping thing. Every time they ship, I want that ship to be fulfilled and have a purpose. And I feel like this movie, even from back then when it first started out, they had a little story of Woody and Bo having, you know, feelings for each other and stuff like that. And by the fourth film, you can tell that they really do like each other and that they really care about each other and that they want to be with each other. But there's certain circumstances that keep him from doing it. And by the end of the film, Woody realizes, like, his point is he's really wants to help things. And it's the one thing that Woody's done constantly through all the movies after the first one, is that he wants to help toys, and he's always been that type of person to go out for a limit and help toys. Because there was a part in the film where they try to save Forky, and basically, and things really go wrong in the scene. And what is it? That's when Woody and Bo Peep had a little argument scene, and Woody was like, "Look, I can't leave no toys behind. This is who I am. It's who I am, and it's how I'm always going to be. And I want to help." And that's really been Woody's character the entire course of these films. Is he's always been looking out for others and wanting to help others because he's the leader and stuff like that. And it's funny because even when Bo leaves him out because she was like, you know what, screw this, I'm done with you. You can go back to your kid, and you can basically risk yourself getting into more trouble while I'm just going to be moving on, and I'm going to be moving on to another carnival, moving on to another space where this carnival's being held. And it's funny because when right before they were right as Bo Peep and the gang and her gang um, got back to the carnival, she was basically like, you know, what is it? That's one of the reasons why toys love him, because he's just that inspirational to help others. And she goes back and helps him. And you know, at the end, they basically, at the end, basically Woody leaves Buzz, Jesse, and the others to basically go help other toys and also be with Bo Peep, because you could also see that even from the very beginning of the movie, he felt like he always wanted to be with her and he never wanted to let her go. And Bo Peep was like, well, you gotta let me go. But and it's like they can't. And at the end, they somewhat had like basically almost had the same similar goodbye as they had in the first part of the film. And you could feel that, because it's like, dang, they've actually see each other again after 9 years, and now they have to leave again. But then Woody's like, you know what? Or Buzz was basically like, look, Bonnie's gonna be okay. We'll be fine. You can go on with Bo Peep. And he says his goodbyes to the toys, and he eventually moves on with Bo Peep. And they show little after credit scenes of them helping other toys find kids and stuff like that. It was good. I was shocked that they didn't do a Bo Peep Woody kiss. You'd think they would, with all the subtitle hints that, like, oh, you know, because Woody was always looking at her some type of way. And you know, I really like, are they gonna like kiss at the end of the movie? That's what I thought, but they didn't. They had a like lovely emotional hug, especially one of their hugs when he basically is gonna go be with her the rest of his time with her, and they had like, you know, the little spin hug and stuff like that. And you can obviously tell that they obviously like each other, and they're just happy that they get to be with each other. And it was, yeah, it was it was heartstringing to see, because it's like you have this one character who's gone, and you know, it's like basically saying goodbye to a friend that you really do care about, and you really, well, how can I say, like, it's like you and a friend where you felt something about them, but you never knew if you wanted to go that far, and you know, they abruptly tell you like, hey, I'm leaving for a long time, and you never see them again for years, and then all of a sudden you come across them again, and it's like, you know, what you used to have feel for them, and then you're like, you know what, it's like, you know what, you sacrifice all that much basically to be with that person. It's what it feels like. And it was good because Woody had to sacrifice a lot. He had to leave because he had to leave his old friends, Buzz, Jesse, Bullseye, the Ham, Slinky, the Potato Heads, and Rex, and then all the other Bonnie's toys behind. And you know, he took the risk and he took the gamble, and it was all for a reason to help out other toys get home. Like I said, that's the one thing about that's always been. But that's really, yeah, that's really it. That's some of the biggest points I can remember from the film. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie, but when I walked out of the theater and I thought about it more and more, I'm like, you know, Toy Story 4 was good, but really, was it really necessary to have this movie? I don't think so. Personally, they could have not made this movie and I would have been fine as is. And, you know, Toy Story 4 to me, and I've been watching other reviews before I made this video, some people have been saying, like, Toy Story 4 feels like its own story, while the 3 feel contained to its own story. And then some people have been saying, oh, like, this story, the first 3 were about Andy's story, this one's mostly Woody's story. And, yeah. I just feel, now that I look back on it, it has a little place for the original trilogy of the Toy Story films, but I can see how why people would say like it's its own movie. It's just, you know, to be perfectly honest, it's just its own movie that it's out there. Um, and you may think I'm like actually not like in this movie. I really did like this movie. I really did. And I was telling my friend on the phone, like, you know, I really do like this movie. I'm not trying to hate it and bash it or anything. I just feel like this movie was never needed, and I don't think it was needed. I don't think it had to be made or whatever. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to go see it, be if you feel like, oh, the movie's underwhelming to you. But personally, I would, I saw it and I'm like, you know what? It's probably not a movie that I'd go see in theaters again. I might not see it a second time, like say Avengers Endgame. That was really captivating, and it would build up to one thing. And they were saying, well, you can't compare the MCU to Toy Story. Well, I somewhat grew up with Toy Story as well, so in some cases you can kind of relate the MCU in that long journey and stuff like that. I just didn't feel like, personally, I wouldn't see this movie 2 times. I still thought it was a good movie. Don't let this review sway you on if you should see it or not if you haven't seen it. But yeah, the comedy was really good. I had a fun time. I thought the most funny characters were, and I forgot their names, but it was the two plushies, and they had these funny scenes. And I'm not gonna spoil that, but those scenes had me dying, and I'm just glad to see. And well, not just glad, but it was glad to see that Toy Story still has that same funny comedy. So, anyways, that's really it. All I have to say for my review of Toy Story 4. I thought it was a good movie. There was little things I had some problems with it. The beginning was a good start off. The middle kind of was a slower pace, and then the ending was kind of a little upbeat and fast paced, and had some of the more emotional moments in the film. And like I said earlier, my favorite 2 parts of the film were probably the beginning and the end. Only because the Bo Peep and Woody relationship and them saying goodbye, but then by the end being back together again. And I'm gonna be blunt. Was it me, or is like, man, did they really? I'm not trying to say like they sexualize Bo Peep, but man, if you look at the character when you're watching the movie, you can see like, you know, the lower extremities. I don't remember that. Maybe that's because she was wearing a dress. But I don't remember that type of area being that big. And I was like, oh, that's kind of, you know, pointing out Pixar, you know, I can see, you know, things on the internet and stuff like that being made about that, especially after this movie. But hey, but other than that, I don't know. It's up for me in the air when this movie comes up to DVD if I want to buy it or not. If it was me and if you give me a list like what movies would you buy, I'd probably just buy the original trilogy. I would probably buy the 4th one, just to be like, hey, if I'm showing somebody who's never gotten into a store, to be like, hey, here's the 4th one. So it's what some people call a good conclusion. But I've also been seeing like people put in comments on other people's YouTube videos. They're like, Toy Story 3 had the best ending, but this was like an epilogue to Toy Story 3. And it's funny because another person also said, like, Toy Story 4 felt like a DLC pack to to Toy Story 3. And in some cases I can understand why people feel like, oh, it looks like just an add-on to Toy Story 3. They could have been like how they said with Lion King. That one Lion King movie, Lion King 1.5. They could have been like Toy Story 3.5, really. But I thought it was good. Like I said, I don't know if I would buy it on DVD. I would probably buy it on DVD if you're telling me if I wanted to get the entire Toy Story collection. I would probably add it to my collection. But would I watch it? Yeah, I'd probably check it out again, and probably not really put it down and watch it again. I'd probably watch it, you know, probably once every year or something like that. It goes to show that this movie really didn't impact me from the standpoint because I just didn't feel like this movie needed to be made at all. And that's just my opinion. It may not be yours, guys. You may feel like this is one of the best Toy Story movies, but if I'm going to rank Toy Stories, goes for me. Toy Story 3 is the best. then Toy Story 1, then Toy Story 4 would probably be my third favorite, and then Toy Story 2 is probably my least favorite. Um, Other than that, yeah, I probably most likely won't see this movie a second time. Just my opinion. It didn't captivate me as much, and it, you know, as say others, where it made them tear up and cry. I was just like, oh, that's good. I would say, like, you felt like I had that feeling like, man, this I can understand. It's pretty emotional, but I didn't like start blubbering tears and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my review for Toy Story 4, and that's really it. And that's my thoughts, and thank you guys for tuning in and listening to my thoughts about this movie. And whether you see it or not, that's up to you. Personally, I was telling my friend, now if you don't have any heart to see it because of the whole aspect you felt like Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending and you just don't want to see it, all by means, you don't have to see it. And if you'd rather wait for DVD to come out on DVD and then you want to see it, that's all good. It's how some people feel like movies. Some people are just like, I'll just wait till it comes to DVD to see it. I'm just not really that interested in seeing it and wasting money on it when I'll just rather pay probably like 17 to 20 bucks just to get it on DVD. So that's it. That's my review. The next movie review will definitely be Spider-Man: Far From Home, and I will most likely be doing a review the day it comes out, because I've been waiting for this movie since it was basically, really after Endgame, because I want to see how the story goes on, because apparently this is the end of Phase 3 as we go on to Phase 4. It would be cool to actually go see, because they're actually showing really not an extended content, but extra things in Avengers Endgame. But I just like, as much as I do love that movie and want to support it again, I'm probably not going to see it because, the movie is good. I just don't know if I want to sit through 3 hours worth of content of the movie I've already seen, like at least 3 times I think already. And yeah, so Spider-Man: Far From Home will be the next movie review. I don't know if my buddy Denzel will be on that video, because he actually really wants to see that movie too, and we might see it together. And if we do see it together, I expect that movie review to be up with him as we talk about our non-spoiler thoughts and then get into spoilers. Look, I'm gonna get into spoilers after I see the movie. Do the typical movie review I do with that, where I give off a non-spoiler stuff in my opinion, and then jump into spoilers later on for the video. But that's the next movie I'm going to see. I can't wait to see Spider-Man: Far From Home. It's one of my most anticipated movies of the summer, and it's probably the last and most, well, no, I would probably say Lion King's probably the last anticipated movie I want to see this summer. After that, really, the only other movies I might see that later this summer is that Dora film that I'm not too high on, and then really, I don't know when the next movie I'll see. Most likely, probably Star Wars, which isn't till December, really. And yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Toy Story 4, and that's what you can expect from movie reviews in the future. Now, I will do past movies and reviews on those and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe leading up to Spider-Man: Far From Home, I might review all the past Spider-Man films to get a sense for them, and lead up, since this is a pretty big Spider-Man movie coming up. So maybe I might do a Spider-Man review marathon where I review the Sam Raimi films, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, and then I would do the two Amazing Spider-Man films, then Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then Into the Spider-Verse. But I might not do that. I might just do the live-action iterations of Spider-Man. But whoever said I might get into Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I thought was a really good movie. But other than that, I kept this video long enough. It's basically 30 minutes now. So, other than that, guys, see you guys in the next video. And other than that, peace and all that. Oh, and then before I end this, I just want to say this. I haven't been on YouTube as long. I've been on YouTube recently, and I did hear about the person named Idaka. I just want to say my heartfelt condolences to him and his really to his family and all his friends he's known. If you don't know, New York police found his body and is confirmed to be deceased. I just want to say my heartfelt condolences. I haven't been on YouTube as much. I never met the guy and I never watched any of the guy's videos, but I heard he brought a lot of laughs and funness to people he associated with and a lot of viewers on YouTube. And I know it's kind of crazy to go deflect from something so good as Toy Story 4 to this, but it's just a really sad day for the YouTube community, and it's a bummer that he had to go, that his time, but hopefully, but we all know whatever he went through, he's not going to be going through those anymore, and you know, it's like they say, they're in a better place now. Other than that, rest in peace, Ithaca, and my heartfelt condolences to him, his family, and anyone that's being troubled by this news. All I know is mental health is a big issue and people need to take it serious. So if you're ever going through something, always, talk it out with somebody. I always do that with me and my friends, and some of my friends do that with me. There was a part of my life probably a year ago where I wasn't into a good spot, and I was a little depressed, and it was my first year of college, being away from home, and wanting not to play football anymore after so much time and dedication to it. It kind of a little bit depressed me and stuff like that. I mean, talking to people, it made me feel a little bit better, and I feel fine. And everyone goes through a moment where they're not feeling good. So, like I said, heartfelt condolences to him, his family, and friends. Other than that, I just gotta say, everyone be safe out there. If there's anybody that you're feeling down, talk to them. Get some help. One happy comment can, make somebody's day. Other than that, that's all I gotta say, and, other than that, really, that's it. So, see you guys on the next video, and other than that, this has been Cam for 15, and I'm signing out. Be safe, everybody.